Here we go. I have my water here. All right, so good morning, Power Players. This is Shameca Tankerson, your Sell More mentor, and I am so excited to be live with you for this call. I decided to actually do this very last minute based on some of the sales conversations I've been having and some of the conversations I've been having with some of you about your goals for this year, your goals for next year, and where you are in relationship to where you thought you would be. And so I decided to do a free training series that I probably should be charging for, but I really feel the need to really dig into the money part of charging what you're worth, and before we dive into the strategy. So I woke up this morning with the desire to infuse you with the power not only to discover your voice at a different level, at another level, but to discover your potential, your profit potential at another level, especially when it comes to your income and your earning potential. So let me just laser focus you right now, because I'm only going to spend a few moments with you today, and I want this to be something that you're going to be able to listen to over and over again, especially the beginning of this call. And I want you listening to this not just once, but maybe 2 to 3 times, because this is the most important part of why most of you are stuck and not being able to move to your next income levels. So just as a measure, I want you thinking about this as the potential to help you to course correct where you are, like in terms of your vision, in terms of your visibility, your tenacity, your drive when it comes to being an entrepreneurial leader. At this point in time in your career or in this stage in your business, maybe you may be getting a little tired and a little leery, and that happens for all of us as entrepreneurial leaders. And so I'm hoping that this series is going to help you to make some shifts in those areas. So that's why I really wanted to do this. It's the end of 2015. We've got a few days left. I know Elaine probably knows exactly how many days left because she's been doing a countdown since about 4 months ago. That sends me on edge every time she does it. It's the end of 2015, and I have a question for you. And in all openness, honesty, vulnerability, because that's where your growth occurs. It occurs in your uncomfortableness. I want you guys to answer for me, and here's where I want you to answer. I'm not like other coaches where I'm like, don't open your Facebook tabs. I want you guys posting your ahas on social media, specifically on your own. If something big hits you, post it, because that drives traffic to you, that puts eyes on you. People see your growth and they want to be a part of what you're doing. But what I want you to have open is the Power Players group. So you can either get there by typing the domain powerplayerslive.com. It'll take you directly to the group. Most of you should already, if you're on this call, you should already be a member of that group. And I want you to post some things for me. First and foremost, I want to make sure I'm in the right place. The other thing is this. You guys know I'm a church girl, so I need some amens and some hollerbacks. And when we're doing these kind of calls, sometimes I don't have the feedback. So that allows me to be able to do that. But I also want to make sure you're connected and you're there. So powerplayerslive.com, or you can just go to the Facebook group via your Facebook page. And I'm going to have you post a couple of things before we get started, and then we're going to jump in. But I want you guys to be honest and be really vulnerable here, because that is where your growth occurs. How many of you are not where you thought you would be when you started 2015? You made goals, you set out your plans, and you're not where you thought you would be. Income-wise, goal-wise, how many of you are carrying old goals, not just from the beginning of 2015, but that have been carrying over year after year after year, and you haven't quite made it yet? I want you to type, "That's me." So I want you to go in the Facebook group and say, "That's me. That's me, Shameca. That's me. I'm carrying over my goals that I thought I would hit first quarter, second quarter, and I'm not even there yet. I'm nowhere near, or I'm just shy of what I thought I would create in income and revenue, or the goals I thought I would hit for 2015. And now I'm carrying those same goals over into 2016. And as a matter of fact, I've been doing that year after year after year." That's me. That's what I want you to type. And I'm going to go to Facebook, and I'm looking, and I want you guys to use the hashtag for this call, Play Big, the hashtag Play Big. So type "That's me" and hashtag Play Big so that I can see it. Play Big is the hashtag that we're using. So that's me is what I want to see. I see you. I see you. Hey, Octavia. Hey, Wendy. Awesome. That's right. Hashtag time to be honest. I love that. I love that. Cool. I see you guys posting. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. So first, I want you to know that that's normal, but it doesn't have to be that way. And I want you to know that for me, my reality wasn't always what my reality is today. Like many of you, I was struggling and always on the hunt for the next client and barely scraping to get it together month to month. And it seemed like no matter how much I grew my business, I was always behind the 8 ball. And my stress level never left. As a matter of fact, like before, the more I grew and the bigger I played in the world, the bigger my problems became. And the reason was because my mindset and my wealth consciousness, my money mindset and my revenue streams were broken. And at the time, I didn't really know that that was the case. I thought I had worked some things out, but here's something that I learned along the way, along the journey: new level, new devil. So once you break one income platform or plateau, usually on the other side of that, it is typically the same types of things that the money consciousness you had to break through the first time that you have to break through the second time. And I'm hoping that this series will help to get you guys focused in a way that you will get the tools that you need, put some tools in your tool belt, some tools in your arsenal that will help you to get to the next level. 50 days until Christmas. I'll pass. All right, squirrel, I got to get back on track. So here's what I learned very quickly. You can't grow like that. You'll grow a little bit. It's like 2 steps forward, 1 step forward, 2 steps back, or you'll just be completely and utterly stuck. And if you're looking to hit the next level in your business, you have to make some significant changes. And I always want to be transparent about what I do so that you can duplicate that. I'm not afraid of talking about my messes and the roadblocks that I hit, because I know that without somebody grabbing me and saying, hey, step here, not there, here's what I did, here's how it felt when I used to park my car that was ugly around the corner from networking events because I didn't want anybody else to see it, those kinds of things. If somebody hadn't grabbed me and said, here's what I did, I've been in that same situation too. I might not have ever had the courage to get to where I am today. And so I want to be that for you today, but I want to make sure you're ready. So the next thing that I want you to type is I'm ready. So type I'm ready. I'm ready to receive. Use the hashtag PowerPlayer so I can pull those up. Type I'm ready. I asked you guys to type for a few reasons. One, I want you connected, because negative thoughts come into your brain. We get over 60,000 negative thoughts a day. And if I don't interrupt those thoughts, you'll go on to the negative tangent. I want you in a positive. I want fertile ground that I can sow into. So type I'm ready. Okay. I also want you taking notes. I'm going to give you a few key pointers today that are going to lay the foundation for what we're going to do over the next few weeks. And so what I really want you to do is be writing down what are the key components for you, not just what I say word for word verbatim, but what's your takeaway. And when I say a takeaway, guys, I mean a takeaway and an action plan. So if you're ready for that, I want you to type Shameca, I'm ready. Use the hashtag PlayBIG. Shameca, I'm ready. Hashtag PlayBIG. You can use hashtag PowerPlayer too. Shameca, I'm ready. I want to see you guys posting. You guys know I'm in here checking, right? How you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you are sitting behind the sidelines and you're thinking it's not important for you to post as I'm asking you to post, I'm going to ask you this question. Where else does that show up in your life and in your business that you don't do all of what's necessary to get the result that you desire? I know sometimes I can be a little rough, but I know that that's necessary to move you to the next level, because too many people have been placating you about what is necessary for you to reach success. And because of that, you're exactly where you are today, which is not where you want to be. I'm not saying it's a bad place, but it's not in the place that you desire to be. How do I know that? Because you would not be on this call. The title of this call, the subject matter of this call would not have called to you if that were not the case. So you guys are ready. I'm excited. You got your running shoes on. We're about to dive into this, and I'm going to be moving pretty fast. okay? So here's the next thing I want you to post, and then we're gonna move on. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on this, but I just wanna make sure that I'm in the right place with people who are ready to receive. Is that okay? All right, so I want you guys, you typed, I'm ready to play big. Here's the last thing that I want you to type. And this has just been on my spirit, and it's something that my heart's been aching for you guys. Again, I've been listening to you, I've been talking to you, I've been seeing what's been going on. I always know when you guys go into hiding, when you're more quiet on your social media, when you're not engaged in the playground online. I know that's because something in your business and your life is not quite right. And the truth of the matter is that is when you should be more vocal and more engaged and not hiding out. But we tend to go into our own reserve instead of calling on our support system. I want to read something for you. Instead of calling on our support system, we go into a cave. And I want you guys to shift that for yourself. And I'm going to give you the last thing to post, but I want to read the post I posted this morning because there's some huge thoughts that I was having about this. So the first thing it says is playtime is over. And I'm asking you guys if you're tired of rolling over your income goals year after year after year. And my question to you is, what might happen if you surrounded yourself by people who refuse to let you fail? What might happen if you surrounded yourself with people who refuse to let you fail? What if what you thought is impossible literally became your new normal, and then you had a new impossible? Think about, I want you guys to hold that in your mind. What's that thing in your life, your business, the life you want to live, the business you want to have, the impact and influence you want to have on the earth that you feel is totally impossible for you right now? It seems impossible. You kind of see it in your mind, you know you can get there, but you're not quite sure how to make it happen. What if that became your new normal? I created the playground to create a support system. The playground is not a place for me to spit knowledge on you guys all the time. It's not just a place for me to post, cool memes that encourage you and inspire you. It's for you guys to be a support to each other. That's why it's called the PowerPlayers Playground. It's for you to network with each other, partner together, but also support each other through the ups and the downs, to celebrate your successes so you can toot your own horn, so somebody can stand there for you and clap and say, good job, when you feel like you can't share that with your family members or other people that you might work with because they might be judging you or feel like you're, a goody two-shoes or a know-it-all. We don't do that in the playground. And when you fall and you're feeling at your worst, to grab you by the hand and look you in the eye and say, I believe in you, you can do this. But for most of you, you don't use this resource. What if your impossible became your new normal? What might happen in your life, in your business, in your relationships, if you were surrounded by people who refuse to let you fail? Here's the next thing I want you to post. Playtime is over. I want you to make that declaration. Here's what I'm going to tell you. This is the first and only time I'm going to tell you don't post if you don't mean it. Yeah, I want to see you engaged, but if you're not ready to make a decision to take a stand for what you truly desire and want in life and to go get it, don't post it. If you're ready, I want you to get in that group and I want you to post, playtime is over. Hashtag play big. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. So today, let me get over there and see. This is one I want to look at. So give me a second while I look at everybody posting this because I want to know. Elaine, playtime is over. Make sure you use the hashtag so I can search these guys. Octavia. Wendy. Wendy says, sometimes we need to come to Jesus sermon. Amen, Shameca. That's right. I need my amens. Cheryl, playtime is over. Awesome. Where are my playtime is overs, guys? This is the real deal because everything starts with a decision. Everything starts with a decision. It starts with you making that decision and then moving forward. Awesome, Jan. 2016 is my year. All right, guys. Here we go. You ready? So today we're going to be talking about how you get paid what you're worth. See, most of you have heard people talk about how to charge what you're worth. You can slap a number on it all day long, but this series is about how you get paid your worth without having to beg, without flinching, without freaking out, without thinking, oh my God, who's going to pay that? Who's going to buy that? Right? But before I jump into that, I just want to do quick housekeeping. So if you have questions at any point, just use the chat box. Okay, you can either type the question in or you can type the word hand in, just the word hand, H-A-N-D, so I can unmute you and you can actually ask your question if you feel like it's a more detailed question. Okay, and then I might stop and answer questions as we go along or wait until I get to a point where there's a question and answer period, but I will be looking at those. So just type your question in the chat box or the word hand, hit enter, it'll show up on my screen, and then I'll be able to answer questions. So this just isn't me blabbing about what I want you guys to hear. I want you engaged in thinking about the application of this for your business and how I can support you in doing that, okay? At the end of this call, everybody who is in this group is going to be added into, everybody that's on this call is going to be added into a drawing for a $5,000 seat to an upcoming program that I have and some other bonuses. At the end of the last session that we do of this series, for every time that you're on a call, your name goes into that bucket. I will actually pull out of that drawing and give those things away. Is that cool? So if you're wondering what it's called, Play Big. My program's called Play Big, Get Paid. If you're wondering what the PAID stands for, it stands for Positioning, Authority, Influence, and Domination. It's a season for giving. I'm just in the mood to give, and I know that it's better to give to the receipt than to receive, and I know that will return to me 100-fold. But I also want to reward you for taking the time to be here with me on these sessions, and I want you at every one. Okay, so if you haven't heard me talk about it, in essence, it's a full program that ends with a 3-day event in April. It's with me and a small group of entrepreneurs, and excuse my language because I don't usually cuss, but it's me completely badassing your business. Playtime is over. It also includes some one-on-one time with me so I can figure out exactly what it is that you want and then hand it to you on a platter. So I've got some super crazy bonuses included into it with it and some other things that I'm going to give away. So again, at the end of the series, I'll select one person as the winner of that $5,000 seat. And then some other bonuses. And it's going to be from those who are on the last call. So you must be present in order to win. All right, so the task at hand today is money. And that's really what this series is all about. There's an old saying that most people don't ask for what they want, which is why they don't get what they need. Or as my grandma used to say, a closed mouth don't get fed. That's how she said it, a closed mouth don't get fed. Nothing could be more true when it comes to pricing your offerings as service-oriented entrepreneurs. Most of you guys provide a service. When it comes to making money in your business, it really is about what's in your head more than anything else. It really is about what's in your head more than anything else. That's something I want you to write down. Making money in your business is more about what's in your head than anything else. Right? As a man thinketh, so shall he be. Like, you get what you ask for, you get what you desire. What you think about is who you become. And I truly believe that. Okay, we're in this industry because we want to help people. We want to deliver the goods. We want to over deliver, right? But we also want to make money. Let's be true. Remember, today I'm starting a trend where we're honest. You know, people are always like, it's not about the money. Like, heck, it's not. Without money, you don't eat. You can't pay your light bill. You can't pay your gas bill. You're scraping money for groceries for your kids. I know, because I've been there. You know, those desires that you have in your heart to give back in a greater capacity, how much more of that could you do if you actually had the money? So we want to make money, right? But here's the problem. We either don't want to ask, we don't know how to ask, or we think that sales feels slimy, icky, gross. And 9 times out of 10, we don't feel worthy. because we're not handing someone a tangible product. So it's like, who am I to charge this much to sit with somebody for my time? And for most of you, it's not just about your time. It's something that comes so easy to you that you're so good at. You feel like it's a gift, right? It's your gifting. Some of you feel like it's your ministry. And so you don't feel worthy of charging for that. You know, how do you put a price tag on that? How do you put a price tag on coaching? How do you put a price tag on photography? How do you put a price tag on confidence? How do you put a price tag on customer appreciation or consulting or any other thing that you can think of that's tangible? And let's be clear about this. You can sit on your butt. Well, let's say this. You can't sit on your butt and make $1 million, right? You can't give people very little and charge a lot. But I want you to think about this, and one of my coaches said this to me, and it shifted everything for me. Because some of us want to make making money hard. That which comes easiest for you is what you should charge the most for. And my coach actually had to slap me around, was it last week? It was last Wednesday, and say the same thing again, because I was putting together new offerings and adding some things that I really thought you guys needed. But he goes, don't even dive into that stuff because it can get overcomplicated. You're really great in this zone. Just do more of that. Add that. That which comes easiest for you is what you should charge the most for. We want to make money hard because we feel like we need to, quote unquote, earn it. And so we slap things into our packages, products, and service that we would have to research to figure out how to do. Let me check the chat box. See what's going on there. Cool. Where am I? And sometimes we feel like charging people a lot for that would just be wrong, right? Here's what I know. Some of you have invested a lot to get support from, you've gotten coaching, you've gotten training and certifications to do the work that you do. And you could be doing all of the right things and still not make any money, still not make a lot of cash, still be broke because of a belief. Because of a belief. Are you with me? And I see this time and time again. So today, the reason why I want to start this series where I'm starting is because I know how true that is. Today, I want to start with how to figure out what you want to charge for your service and what are those beliefs that you need to shift in order to be able to charge that. People ask me all the time, like, how do I put a price tag on? How do I figure out what I'm going to charge? So I'm going to give you a simple formula to really figure that out. And then we're going to dive into those beliefs. Here's what I know. At every new level for me in my business, when I made the declaration that I wanted to make $300,000 a year, I was in tears because I had a realization that although I knew it was possible, I had a deeply seated belief that Black girls can't make that much money or shouldn't make that much money. And I know all of your hearts are broken as I say that. Like, oh my gosh, you know, you're so great. You should be able to do that. And it's not about your race or your color. I believe that. I'm a confident person. But the reality of it is, as far as my ancestral lines go and the stories that have been passed along, at every new level of income, I deal with that demon. It's a mindset. It's not in the forefront of my mind, but it is anchored in my DNA. And I have to make a decision at every new level to release that. For some of you, you have things hiding under the surface that are keeping you stuck. And you think it's about the strategy, you think it's about your next business coach, you think it's about your packaging and your pricing, and it has nothing to do with that. It's all because of a belief. So let's start with how to figure out what to charge for your services. Yes. If you guys are paying attention in the chat, there's a lot going on in the chat. I'm not going to read them off every time they come, but I like communication, so I'll stop every once in a while. Okay, so how do you put a price tag on it? So first, it goes without saying that it's important to price the right item for your sales Like price the item right for your sales and for your cash flow. That goes without saying. Like you don't want to underprice and not be able to deliver, and it costs you more to deliver than you're going to walk away with, or you have a little profit margin. So that goes without saying. You need to figure that out. But it's even more important for brand positioning and to help your clients understand your value that you price correctly. I'm going to say that again. It's even more important for brand positioning and to help your clients understand your value. Let me take a drink of water. Hey, Keisha, welcome. So there's a way that we do this. What you need to do is get a piece of paper and a pen, or open up a Word document for those of you who are so computer literate that you only will type on your computer, and then write down everything that your clients get as part of a particular program, product, or service. I would like for you to focus on your highest end offering. Okay, your highest end offering. Write down everything that a client gets. What's in it? That's what goes first. So this goes well beyond like the number of calls that you're going to give them. If they get, it's things like, do they get email support? Do they get access to a Facebook group? Do they get worksheets? Do they get exercises to complete? For some of you, the exercises that you walk people through, those are like the most valuable pieces of what you do. But you don't realize that, and you don't realize how tangible they are. Okay? So then once you write down everything that goes in it, then I want you to write down the benefits. So don't forget to include the benefits of what they get from working with you. So here's where I want to take some time and shift the way you think of the benefits. Most of you are great on what people get from working with you. But here's what the benefits from working with you are. Benefits are like changing their mindset about money or anything else that you shift their mindset about. So right, if you're a writing coach and you're getting rid of writer's block, that would be a benefit. If you're a health coach and they're going to learn why they eat emotionally and understand how they can stop that, that's a benefit. If you're a weight loss coach, so I'm hoping these examples are giving you ideas of what benefits would look like. How many pounds are they going to drop? So you're going to give them this program, but how many inches of weight would they, how many inches would they lose? How many pounds would they drop? Okay, whatever those benefits are, write all of the benefits down. Before you even think about pricing, these 2 steps need to be taken. It's super important, mostly for your confidence than anything else, and I'll show you why in a minute. Okay, so along with the services they're going to get, now on the other side of the paper, write down all of the benefits that they get from working with you. Then you're going to look at those items and literally write down what each one of them is worth, one at a time. Literally write down what each one of them is worth, one at a time. So let's say you're going to give them 12 one-hour calls. Okay, now understand this is not how you're going to market it. This is for your benefit only. You guys know I don't like marketing or delivering your offer using you're going to get 12 one-hour calls. This is for you. Okay, so let's say you're going to give them 12 one-hour calls. I don't like trading time for dollars. It's not a powerful way to do it. But I want you to write down, what are those calls worth? 12 one-hour calls. What are those calls worth? Then you're going to get, let's say you're going to give them unlimited email access for 12 months. What's that worth? What is it worth for them to be able to just jump in an email, type out whatever they need, send it to you, and you to respond back to them with an answer? It's like having 24/7 access to you, okay? What's that worth? Then we move to the benefits, okay? So once you write down everything that they're going to get, what's each one of those things worth? Then you're going to move to the benefits. So back to, they're going to learn why eating emotionally is a problem for them, right? Why they're eating emotionally and how they can stop doing it. What's that worth? You're going to write that down. Like, think about that. Can you even put a price tag on that? Some of you are going to have those things. You can't even put a price tag on it. It is literally priceless. But it's all about you understanding the value. So once you do that, you've got what they receive, what that's worth, the benefits, what that's worth. Underneath all of that information, you're going to write down everything you had to learn earn, graduate from, get certified in, and how long it took you to get there in dollars and physical exertion to learn it and total it all up. Okay, so you're going to write down everything you had to learn, earn, graduate from, and get certified in, how long it took you to get there, but you're going to write it down in dollars. So you got this certification. What was the cost of that certification? What did you invest in that certification? And then when it comes to your time, right? What did your time cost? So what did it cost you in dollars and physical exertion to learn it all and then total it all up? Because your clients, even for some of you that are new, people, you're doing a thing that people can be helped, you can help people with, but there took a point for you to get there, and there's a lot of investment that went into that. So I want you to total that all up. Does that make sense? Yes? Cool, I see you guys working. Thank you, Jan, Wendy. You guys know I need talk back. All right. So then you're looking at this list, right, of all three together. What's included in that list? Benefits, what's included in the program, what it took for you to learn it and earn it. And what you'll see is that there is an absolute massive ton of value that you are giving. And this makes it much easier to charge what your programs are worth. So when you come to me and you say, they're not walking away with a tangible object. It's not like they're buying a TV or a washing machine. How do you put a price tag on that? This is how you do it. And again, this doesn't mean that we charge $1 million. Most likely, you're not even going to charge anywhere near to what the total amount. When you look at the total amount on those three lists, it's going to be a ridiculous amount of value. And you're never going to charge that much. And that's okay. The point in doing this exercise is to shift your perspective from looking at a service and assigning an arbitrary number that may or may not feel good, and instead you thoughtfully and mindfully evaluate exactly how much you've invested in yourself in order to help other people. And then you've thoughtfully and mindfully evaluated exactly how much you're going to give them on top of what you've invested in yourself. And this helps you value you. That's the point. It makes you feel good about what you've accomplished and what you're going to deliver. It makes you feel good about what you have to offer people. And this, love, is how we stop undercharging. This is how we stop undercharging. Here's an important note. Let me check chat real quick. Making money is more about what's in your head. I'm gonna have to go back through my notes because I'm not quite sure what point you're talking about, Elaine. I'll look at that in a second. Okay, so let me drink some water really quick. I don't know, for some reason I'm a little dehydrated today. Sorry about that. Okay. So an important note for you, when you're pricing, we're not interested in what somebody might pay for it. You guys with me? It's not about, well, what will the market bear? What will they pay for it? That's something entirely different. And that's a whole different animal, right? It's a whole nother animal. What we're doing right now is you're only evaluating what you think each aspect of what you're offering is worth. It's none of our business what we think somebody will pay for it. It's none of our business what we think they can afford. Can I get an agreement on that? Can I get a yes? That's none of your business. Right now, we're evaluating what each aspect is worth. Okay, and I know you've heard this before, but this is why when you price a service by, here's why I want you to understand this. When you price a service by thinking about what you think someone else is likely to pay for it, but you don't feel it's enough, what happens is you resent your clients. And you'll actually not get clients because you don't really want to do the work. It's not worth it to you. So while you have this desire, you have this conundrum going on. You want to get clients, but then it doesn't feel good when you work with them, so you sabotage. But you'll also attract clients who don't value your services. How many of you guys are experiencing that? Why? Because they're cheap and who don't do the work and who don't show up for calls or the things that you give them that are super valuable because they don't value it and they don't get the results. And that starts to make you feel awful about what you do, and you start questioning your value. You start questioning whether or not you're good at what you do, but it's because of the type of client you've attracted. It's not because your stuff doesn't work, right? They don't take it seriously because it was cheap. Who wants to work with people like that? I don't. I'm not saying gouge people. I'm saying value. You know, you guys hear me use this scripture all the time. Where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. When people are highly invested, they are all in. If you have something that changes people's lives and you really want them to get that result, up-level your pricing. Pull them all in. Pull their heart and their treasure to the same level so they can get the result. You have a life-changing service and opportunity for them. So those clients that are the cheapy ones, those are the clients that I like to call tire kickers. Okay, these are people who want something cheap and on the fly, and because it was cheap and on the fly, they don't invest in themselves. You know, so you show up ready to do the work, ready to get them the results, and you make 150% investment to make a lot of changes for people and to help them to get the result they want, and they come in and they half-ass it. Sorry, I'm on a cussing tangent today. You guys are like, whoa, Shameca said ass like twice. So Jan wrote something here. She said, FYI, this doesn't only happen for cheap clients. My clients pay a premium for my packages, but sometimes they still have trouble committing. But I think that it's less them not valuing me and more not valuing themselves. There's two components that I want to look at that. The first one is this. What that may mean is what you're doing, the value that you've put on it, it probably isn't premium anymore. You probably need to raise your prices. That's the first thing that I see. The second thing that I see is, yes, I realized that too along my journey about them not valuing themselves. And I started to add those components into my work because my clients weren't getting the results I thought they should get in the time frame. So how do you address that issue? So Jen, that might be something you want to look at in your programming right off the bat to call them to a higher level of accountability as soon as you get started. And yes, you might want to look at raising your prices. I'll ask you this question. You can type it if you want, or we can schedule a session where we can talk about it. What's your highest level program investment right now, or that program that you're talking about? Because I feel like you've been probably at that price for some time. Based on what I know about your offering, it's probably time to raise your prices. Let's see. Where am I? Did you chat back? It's 24K. Yeah. Cool. That's something we might want to explore. Like what are the pieces that you could add in the beginning to get them jump started? And again, pricing. All right, let me go back to where I was. You guys know I read notes when I'm doing this because I don't want you guys to miss anything. So, all right, so here we are. So, and here's the deal. When you're in working with a client and they're not getting the result, there's nothing more frustrating with that. Like, we pour our hearts and souls into our business. We want people who are going to show up, put their own heart and soul into their own transformation. And so I want to take a step back and kind of look at that other piece where you can overcharge for what you do. You know, and I feel like we talk a lot about not charging enough, but it's also important to talk about charging too much. Like, you cannot and should not charge, you know, $1 million for something that's worth $5. You know, aside from the fact that it's ripping people off, if you don't believe that what you're selling is worth that fee, you will never sell it. And if you sell it, you'll never get the results. So that's super important. Energetically, psychologically, mentally, whatever, it just won't work. People won't buy it. So you have to believe in it first. That's why I have people do the list of what you've done for yourself to get to where you are, so that you can convey the amount of value that you have in that, but also you can't overcharge for it. So now you can see, I can't stress that enough. You can't overcharge. You've got to believe that it's worth that amount. You've got to believe that people are going to get the results, get those results that you put down. You've got to believe that they're going to be happy with what you provided. If you don't, it will not work out. So it's about what you feel also. Like, I can be all day, you need a $10,000 program, you need a $25,000 program, you need a $50,000, you need a $100,000 program, you need a $5,000 program for some of you. You know, I could say that all day long, but if everything doesn't line up, it will not work. Okay? So, of course, assuming they do the work, they've got to show up and do the work, they'll get the results. Right? So, first and foremost, understand that you're not here to serve everyone. Write that down. I'm not here to serve everyone. Problem we have is we think everybody's our client, and the moment somebody says, no, it's not a good fit, we take that as personal rejection. The reality of, you was probably just saved from somebody who you weren't meant to work with. I'm not here to serve everyone. Actually, instead of writing it down, post it in the group. I'm not here to serve everyone. Play big. We're up leveling, right? I'm not here to serve everyone. So I want you to think about what you are offering. Think about your offering and what feels good to charge. And once you're looking at that big, long list, come up with a number. That's your fee. Are you with me? Sorry, reading Jan's chat. That changes things a little bit. That's probably nothing to them. Okay. All right, so everybody should have your fee now, or you should know how to get your fee, right? So now, if this is a big jump from a previous rate, if you've never done this before, or you're new to business, you're new to adding like a service to your business, you've got to get comfortable putting yourself out there. So don't be surprised when there's not sales for a while. It may go dark because there's something that happens energetically, and that's normal. So here's what I believe. I believe this happens for a couple of reasons. Personally, I'll give you a personal prime example of me. A couple of years ago, I launched a new program with rates that were about 15 times higher than I'd ever charged before. And I made the decision that after following this formula that I just shared with you, I laid out for you guys that I wouldn't serve people anymore for $400 a month. It just wasn't going to happen. Whatever it was, I wasn't going to do that anymore. And I couldn't afford to do it anyway. I mean, I was really struggling at that rate. So the turning point for me and my belief in my value was when one of my own coaches hired me. And essentially, I took over his entire sales process for his business, coaching his clients and enrolling them into his high-end program. That belief in me reminded me, solidified in me that I really had something of value that I was undervaluing. Before that, I was starving and scraping, changing my fees, trying to feed my kids, and it sucked. I was grinding into all hours of the night. You know, I'd be up on the computer all hours of the night, sometimes working 60 plus 80 hours a week. And I was just like, you know what? I can't do that anymore. It has to be a different way. And so I released my new rates, and it went crickets, deathly quiet, and it scared the bejesus out of me, like in a Mufasa kind of way. You guys ever watch The Lion King? When the hyenas are there in the cave and somebody says, Mufasa, and they go, ooh, like it was terrifying. You know, as an entrepreneur, with that being my sole income, and I think that month, I made all of a whopping $315. And I'll never forget it as long as I live. But I didn't care. I mean, don't get me wrong, I was scared, but I didn't care because I wasn't going to drop my rates again, because I realized that I totally was undervaluing myself. So I still have people coming to me saying, like, can we hire you one more time for your old rate? Can we do it just one more time? Can't we? And I just consider them all tests. So I want you to know that when you do raise your rates, you're going to get scared. Okay, I stuck to my guns. I wasn't going to do it. I wasn't going to be scraping for change for groceries. I wasn't going to be working 60, 80 plus hours a week anymore. And basically, as I said, energetically, it takes time for those clients who want that discount to filter away and make room for the clients who are truly invested in you. That's when the floodgates open. Okay, it's the terror barrier. The next few clients I got not only paid my new rates, but they paid in full, and I made $27,000 that month. So it wasn't who's going to pay that. It wasn't who's going to value the service enough. It was all of the things that we tell ourselves about why we can't charge that, what we're worth, you know, why the market won't bear it where you live. I don't have the right clients, all of those kind of things, which is all really a bunch of crap. Sorry to say it, it is. It's all in your head. That's what I learned. It's about belief. So if you truly believe that what you're providing is worth that dollar amount, and you present it in an effective way, you guys know how I am about languaging, you know, about power language, and you can convey the value to your prospect, then you're going to make money. You're going to make money, and you're going to make it consistently, because they want what you have. They just need to know that you can deliver. That's it. So here's the lesson, and we're going to move on to the next section. It takes time to attract those clients who are serious about your work, but it also takes a little bit of time to lose those clients who are bargain hunting and who aren't taking your work seriously. So they're going to show up, and you're going to go, oh my gosh, maybe I should stay here. Stick to your guns. Okay? It's a mistake to drop your prices. Like, here's what I see. The mistake I often see with pricing is this, because the most important thing for you is you've got to stand your ground and own your worth. Okay, here's what I see. I see people finally get up enough nerves and guts, the gumption to make a leap to a new rate, and it gets all quiet on them. It's like crickets, and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go broke. They're not making money, so they get scared, and then they drop their prices right back. That's a mistake, because you've raised your prices for a reason. You can't live off of what you were charging. It didn't feel good for you. You're not liking the work. You get clients who are uncommitted. Why would you want to go back to that? Every time it goes quiet again, I can't stress enough that this is a test. You're being tested. I remember when I first raised my rates to $10,000, I thought, oh my gosh, nobody's going to pay that. And then when the first person paid it, I was like, wow, okay, that's cool. And the next person and the next person. So did I say 10,000 a month? Ooh, that was a Freudian slip. Sorry, I'm having my own moment here. I need to write that down. Because if you immediately drop your prices back down to what you're saying to the world, what the message you're putting out there when you drop your prices is, send me more cheap, wishy-washy clients, please. But that's not what you want. So you want to be incongruent. You want to be congruent with what you say you want. Let me check chat real quick. There's a lot going on. Yep. All right, cool. All right, are you guys still with me? Can I get some yeses in the chat box? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, shoot. Where did I go? I totally lost my page. Okay, so when you make a decision to charge what you're worth, you have to own it. I said that already. Okay, so here's the deal. That leads me nicely to the next space, which is the decision to charge what you're worth. You have to own it, right? But it's all about mindset. What's in your head will mess with you. You'll be on a head trip all day long. It'll mess with your business. It'll mess with your cash flow. And more than anything else ever could, it will mess you up. Okay? And when I tell you that you have complete control and autonomy here, please take me seriously. It's up to you. It is up to you. Your head will jack you up. So for most of you on the call, the primary reason you're here is because you're stuck. And it's mind-blowing how much control your mind has over everything. If you don't believe what you're offering is worth that, whatever the price tag is, you will never sell it. You'll never sell it. If you're selling something cheap and you feel like you're doing somebody a favor, you're going to get clients who are expecting favors. That's just how it works. They're not going to appreciate it. You will absolutely attract what you're putting out there. Like attracts like. So what we're going to talk about today is going to straighten that out a little bit for you. You're going to have to change the way you think. Okay? More than the strategy to get clients, more than what's in your program, more than what it is that you say when you speak or what you say during sales conversations, you're going to have to change the way you think, which is simultaneously both simple and difficult at the same time. Kind of redundant, right? Simultaneously difficult and simple at the same time. But here's what our starting point is going to be. And what I'm going to give you today so that you can begin to charge what you're worth is 6 ways to change how you think about money right now. 6 ways to change how you think about money right now. Because for most of you, this is the #1 foundational piece to why you are stuck at the level you are currently stuck at. More water. Okay, so the first one is going to sound pretty simple, but I learned the hard way that it isn't. Okay, so #1, write this down. Believe you can be filthy rich. Some of you guys are like, I don't want to be filthy rich. It doesn't matter what you want to be. You got to believe that it's possible for you. You got to believe that you can have whatever you want. So, okay, so you don't want to be filthy rich, but if you don't believe that that's possible for you, most likely whatever the next level of what you do want, you don't believe that either. Because everything is available. So #1 is believe you can be filthy rich. What a concept, right? Can you imagine yourself actually living in the house of your dreams or mansion of your dreams or a mansion or having a yacht? For some of you, can you even imagine yourself flying first class all the time? You know, or driving a Jag or whatever your favorite car is, a Bentley, I don't know. Can you even imagine that? Or is that completely outside of the realm of your thinking or something you assumed was just for other people? Stay with me here because I want you to start thinking it like this. You know, if you're starting from a point of self-defeat, which if you're like, you know what, that's not for me. See, a lot of times we'll tell ourselves, well, I don't want that much because that's the truth of what we believe. We don't believe it's for us. It's not about you wanting it. You don't believe you can have it. And if you're starting from a point of self-defeat, what do you think you're going to get? Oh my God, I'll never pay off my debt. And even if I do, I'm just going to rack it up again. Oh my God, this is impossible. Right? Some people just think they're unworthy of financial success. Remember my black girl story? In my head, I believed it was possible. But in my spirit and the back of my mind, in my subconscious, the stories that were running around is I was unworthy of that. You know, other people think it's too hard to get there, so they're just not going to try. That takes a lot of work, so I'm just going to set the bar this low. Here's the solution to that. The solution to thinking that way, to starting in that position of self-defeat, is to be positive. I know this sounds kind of airy-fairy, but remember, we're talking about mindset here. Okay, it's to be positive. So here's how you do that. Don't whine, don't complain. Don't talk badly about your finances. When you focus on the negative, your brain helps you find more. You guys have heard my story of the reticular activation system. When you focus on the negative, your brain helps you find more. When you get what you focus on. Be positive. Don't complain. Don't talk negative. Okay? If you want good stuff, then you focus on good stuff, because your brain will be more than happy to help you find more reasons to be positive. Okay? This is actually scientifically proven, and I'm not even making it up. You can literally build new neural pathways in your brain, carve out an entirely new life for yourself with your thoughts. Google it. Seriously. And some of us know this, but we've slipped back into not putting it into action. Right? We find ourselves complaining about the clients we have instead of being grateful that we have clients at all. So be positive is number one. Number two, good things come to those who get off their assets. This time I decided not to say ass. I'm sorry, I'm cracking myself up. Get off your butt. You got to take action. That's seriously what it is. I'm so sick of people saying they want this, they want that. But then when I ask, they're fine coming and learning in a class and learning all the steps to do. But when it's time to do the work, they can come up with a million reasons why they can't pick up the phone and make a phone call. Why they're still getting ready to get ready. Why they are not doing not one single thing that is actually going to lead to them actually getting a paying client, a check, or an opportunity to get in front of a client. So a positive attitude is like, let's do a metaphor here. It's like a lit match. So you got a lit match, right? You following me? That's the positive attitude, focusing on the positive. You get what you focus on. You want more money in your business? Focus on the money you do have and be grateful for that, right? Don't focus on the deficit or what you don't have. Focus on what you do have. That's the lit match. Taking action is the gasoline. Up in flames, right? You need both. But it's the fuel that really gets stuff going. Action is the fuel. Good things are happening for me, and I'm ready to take the next step. That's a great mantra. Write that down, type it in the group. Good things are happening for me, and I'm ready to take the next step. I'm ready for the next step. Good things are happening for me, and I'm ready for the next step. Hashtag play big. A great mantra. Every day, say that. Good things are happening for me, and I'm ready for the next step. So here's what I want you guys thinking. What can you do right now, today, not tomorrow? Okay, it's for most of you guys. Some of you guys are on the East Coast. Some of you, I think if you're in Canada, most of you guys are on the same time zone with us. It's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon here. For the East Coast, it's the end of the day, but I still want you to try to get something in today. What can you do today? Right? Think today. That will move you forward towards the goal that you have. Right now, today. And every day you need to be asking yourself. For some of you, you need to ask yourself that every hour, every 30 minutes, at the start of every work segment. What do I need to do right now that can move me forward? Because if you do not, you're going to find yourself in this land of doing stuff that makes absolutely no sense to do. See you later, Wendy. Just so that you guys know, these recordings will be available inside of the event. So I will post the recordings. Actually, I might just post them in the group also so that you guys can have them. So what can you do today? Can you interact with clients in a new forum? Can you write a value-packed newsletter, you know, with a good call to action in it that says, hey, reach out to me? Can you pick up the freaking phone? Like, I talk to people all the time. I'm like, okay, you need to follow up with your leads or the last people that you met at a networking event, and they can't tell you how many people just want to send an email. I'm like, seriously, pick up the freaking phone. Can you book a gig, a speaking gig? Can you follow up by phone with leads and prospects? Keep moving ahead. So continually ask yourself, what can I do today in this moment to move me towards my goal? Okay? Most people don't try because they're afraid they're going to fail. And you can't fail unless you give up. You know, failing is just getting a result. There really isn't failure unless you give up. All right, number 3. I'm going to move through this because we have 3 more, and I want to get you guys off the call in another 30 minutes. All right, so there's more than enough to go around. Know that. Like, in the world, let's call it in the universe, okay, in this whole galaxy, there's more than enough to go around. That's number 3. That's a principle, a mindset principle that I want you to engage in. Some people have this really jacked up idea that if you're doing well, then other people must be suffering. Like, success takes away from other people. That's crap. There's more than enough for everybody. There are billions of people on the planet. And if you can't find, it only takes, really, I'm going to say this. It takes, depending on what you charge for your services, 10 to 20 clients a year will blow your mind and what you can create as a revenue in your business inside of a year. That's all it takes. With billions and billions of people on the planet, you can't tell me that you can't find 20 people that are willing to work with you and pay what you're worth and what you're asking for. The world has more than enough for everybody. Your doing well doesn't take away anything from anybody else. There's more than enough to go around. There's no competition. So let's forget for a minute that the US Mint prints money every single freaking day. Let's consider the law of attraction, right? And you guys know I'm a God girl, but I believe that the law of attraction is biblical also. So I'm just going to put it out there. A belief is just a thought you keep thinking, right? If you want to be broke, keep thinking about how you don't have enough money. If you want to be rich, think about how much you have. Our brains, God designed our bodies and our brains to support us in that way. Your brain doesn't know the difference between reality and fiction. Everything you think your brain thinks is real. So if you focus on negative, you will start to create that stuff. This is what people mean when they say gratitude changes everything. So Proverbs 23:7, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So is she. So shall she be. He be. Proverbs 23:7. Here's another scripture. According to your faith, be it done unto you. That's Matthew 9:29. It's real. Here's what the law of attraction actually is. It's just the belief that like attracts like. That's all it is. It's the belief that like attracts like. Which leads us to number 4. Be grateful. Why would God give you anything if you don't appreciate what you currently have and manage it properly? Nothing will make you feel more like a success than simply being grateful. And I know what I'm teaching you today, these 6 steps, sounds like, oh, this is rudimentary, but some of you guys need to go back to basics because you're stuck. And I'm not just preaching to the choir. I'm coming back to basics because I had to come back to basics for myself. You know, you get in the daily grind of doing things and you forget the simple things. Okay? If you don't appreciate what you have and manage it properly, you're not going to get more to manage. Every night, I write down things I'm grateful for. And I'm challenging myself moving into this new year, starting this week, as I was writing out this series for you, starting with this session, I'm challenging myself every night to write down 100 things that I'm grateful for every night before I go to bed. And I want to challenge you to do the same. It doesn't have to be 100, but I want to challenge you. Every night before you go to bed, be grateful. You know, the breeze blowing through my window. The fact that I had an actual internet connection today, because you guys know I have bad connection, right? You've experienced that on some calls. It's gotten better. The breath of life. You know, the use of my limbs. my children. Just gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. And instead of focusing on the goals that I haven't met and the grind of the day of building this business and the vision that God's put on my heart, just staying in gratitude and reminding myself of everything that I've been blessed with. And then in doing that, I am creating the space to receive more. And I show God that I'm grateful. And I show the world that I'm grateful. And I show the universe that I'm thankful. And when you need something, I want you to do this. Look at that gratitude, look inside, and know this. You are enough. You already do enough. And you have enough right now. And that is what those gratitude statements will let you know. Get out of that sense of angst and feeling of lack. And get into the expansiveness of everything that you have to be grateful for and everything that you possess. You are rich. Right? Which leads me to the next statement. Number 5, act like you know. Act like the queen, the king, the royalty that you are. Act rich because you are. Act wealthy because you are. There's this song I love by a group called Brent Jones and the TP Mob, and it goes like this. It goes, I'm so rich. I'm so rich, it doesn't make sense that I can be rich like this. Anyway, love that song. I was just thinking about that when I was writing this. That's my serenade for the day. What would you do today? I want you to think about this because you're immensely wealthy already in this moment and you have everything that you need. It's already available to you. What would you do today if you knew today that all your money problems were solved? Right? I spend a lot of time on this thinking, which is why we're starting here with people in my programs. And I didn't always do that, right? But now I'm doing it because I have realized that this is where a lot of my clients were stuck. I was giving them the strategies, but then they weren't getting results and success. And it was this piece. This is one of the pieces. There's 2 elements. The other one was calling them higher and holding them to a higher standard of accountability out the gate. 100% responsibility out the gate. But this piece is important. So I'll have a client who's trying to, they're trying to manifest something. They're trying to come up with money. They're trying to manifest clients. They're trying to work on their money mindset. Maybe they're scrambling because there's bills they need to pay. They need to pay a particular bill, right? They've done all their action steps. They put everything into place, but they just don't see it coming. And here's my solution to them. This is my solution. Step away from the computer, get out of the grind and that feeling of, oh my gosh, I need to create, I need to do something. It's got to come. I got to push and make it happen and act like it's already resolved. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but trust me on this. Act like you know. Because it truly is. It's already taken care of. It's a done job. You win, right? If you knew that the bill was already paid, what would you be doing? That's the question. If you knew you already had the 10 clients you were expecting to have in the program by, what's today? November 15th, and today is the 12th. Because that creates anxiety, right? What would you be doing if you knew you already had it? So step away from the computer and act as if it is already done. And I'll tell them, go do that right now. Act as if. How would you respond to a client inquiry? Would you be desperate and clingy? Would you be on a sales conversation like, oh my gosh, you need to buy this from me? What if they don't say yes? Would you be begging for their business? Or would you lean back and say, this is what I do. This is the price. This is where I can fit you in my schedule. And in business, this is the difference between those who have money and those who don't. It's their ability to relax. Act like you're the best in the world at what you do. It changes everything. One of the first questions I ask when people call me to work with me one-on-one is, why do you want to work with me? It's not, how can I help you? I do dive into the problem, but if you look at the application, it's, why do you think you're a good fit to work with Shameca in her program? That's before they even get on the phone with me. You see that difference? Last one before we move on to the Q&A period is be curious. You know, if you want to know more about real estate, stocks, investing, dig deep, check it out. You know, knowledge is not going to hurt you, but I need you to know this, it's not enough by itself. You have to change the way you think about money, and then the rest follows, right? So be curious, ask questions. Why is this happening to me this way? Instead of getting frustrated that more people are saying no, step back and go, why is this occurring? How can I change this? Start asking why, how, what. Okay? So I want to sum this up. Pricing in itself, your ability to be able to get paid what you're worth starts off with a 1-2 punch. You start by assessing the value of everything that you're offering and everything you've learned to get where you are. Decide what it's worth. Be sure you believe that it's worth that, because you won't sell it otherwise. Then you need to get your head together around money and what's possible for you. Expand, expand, expand. And I know that this sounds really woo-woo, but I meant it when I said, how much time have you just sat with yourself and visualize living in the house of your dreams? Where do you want to be? Remember, your brain doesn't know the difference between reality and what's in your head. It thinks it's all real. What's around you when you envision this, living in the house of your dreams? What's the furniture like? What are you wearing? What does it smell like? What do you hear? Are you in the city? Are you in the country? You've got to visualize, what does it look like when you have a full roster of clients? Same thing. What are you wearing? How are you celebrating? What does it look like? Who's around you? What does it smell like? What do you hear? You've got to visualize. Your brain is a powerful creation. The vast majority, far and wide, don't understand that they can truly have whatever they want. And I will say this with authority because it never occurred to me either. That simply changing the way that you think turns your world upside down. And I've seen it happen time and time again. And I'm on a journey to implement this again for myself and my business, to do the impossible. And I want to take you along the road with me. So I'm going to look right now, open it up for questions. I hope this has been super powerful for you and gotten you in a foundational place to receive as we start to add on top of this and unpack how to get paid what you're worth without begging. It starts with your thoughts, right? I have a few questions that were sent to me ahead of time, but before I get to those, I want to make sure that I honor those of you who are on the call. Jan. The basics. Okay, Octavia, I'm going to have to open up your line to ask you what that meant because I don't know. Oh, you just said I have to hear the basics again. Okay. Anybody have a question they want to ask based on anything, any clarification? I know Elaine had asked something earlier. And then I'm going to answer the questions that I have that are already there. Let me go back to Elaine. Actually, I think I can just click on her. Oh, no, I cannot. Making money is about more about what's in your head than, okay, let me go back to that. Give me 1 second. Let me get there. Thank you guys for playing full out and being on the call. Again, I'm taking questions right now. So if you're looking at how do I apply this in my business, we can unmute the line and have a conversation. And I do have a few questions. Where is that? Oh, I know what I said. I don't know where it's at, but it's more about what's in your head than about what you say in a conversation. It's more than what's in your program. It's more than what you say when you speak. It's more than the strategy. It's about changing the way that you think. Took me a second to remember what the whole conversation was about. Okay, so I'm going to go to the questions that I got ahead of time because I don't see. Let me check one more time to make sure in the chat there's no questions from you guys, no hands raised. Yeah, we can actually talk about that during your session, Elaine. Okay. Because it is, even though you're selling a product, there's still more value to it than just what they're putting into it and what it costs you with the product. Okay, so my questions that I had ahead of time, Linda asked, is it a good idea to allow clients to make payments instead of a lump sum? So here's what I'm going to say to that, is it depends. Like, I don't usually do payments unless the program or service is more than about $800, maybe $700, $700 to $800, then I'll do a payment plan, but that's me. I think everybody has their own way of doing things, and I would say anything less than $500, no. I mean, I probably wouldn't ever do payments on a $500 program, but it depends. So what it depends on is like, what's your comfort zone? What are you selling? You know, that's part of it. Again, but my hard and fast rule is under $500, no payment plan. Again, but that's for me. Okay, it's all about back to what that feeling is. I had gotten a question, is it going to be recorded? Yes, it's going to be recorded, and we will send it out after. Since there's no email list for this, we just use the Facebook group. I'll post it in this section, and we'll likely post them again in the Facebook group somehow, but just go to the event for this, and then you should be able to get the recording. It'll be up by tomorrow sometime at the latest. Okay, let's see. All right, so again, use the comment box if you have a question. You can either type hand and I'll unmute you, or you can type your question out. So far we've talked about the 6 ways to tweak your money mindset, and then how you can figure out your pricing. And right now I'm fielding questions for those 2 topics right now before we move on. Okay, so I had another question that was sent in, which was about packaging. And it says, I don't understand how to figure out the value that I have because I have so many creative ideas. How many of you guys relate to that? I'm wondering how to narrow it down because I don't want to offer too much. Yeah, over delivering in that way, over packaging is really detrimental to your client's results. You usually say offer 3 things. Yeah, I do. So how do I go about what I offer? All right, so she's saying she's got a lot that she can do. How does she narrow it down to what she's going to offer? And how does she just figure out 3 things? So yeah, I advocate for no more than 3 packages that you offer your clients. So you want something general. So here, let me say this. I'm going to be speaking in general terms and not specific, okay? You know, not specific terms of your business. We want to talk about your business and answer this for your business, but in general, you want something that's an entry-level price point so they can get to know you and love you, and then you want something middle of the road, and then you want your high-end package. Whatever they are, they should be things that you love doing, right? Not things that maybe they'll sell, or maybe somebody will like this and they might want to buy it, so I'm going to do this. It has to be something that you love to offer yourself, like a no-brainer. It's that thing that comes easiest to you, and go with things that you're madly in love with. And again, they come easiest for you so you can get paid the most for them, and it doesn't drive you crazy trying to figure out how to put it together. Okay? That's what I would suggest. So you want get to know you, middle of the road, and then your high-end offer. This question, I don't have a name on this one. It just says it's from New York. So I think this is the last one that I have. When throwing in a free bonus with a package, how do we add value without feeling like we're giving away something we should probably charge for? So when throwing in a free bonus with a package, How do we add value without feeling like we're giving away something we should probably charge for? So if you're throwing in a bonus for a package, it's because it feels good to give that bonus, right? That's the only reason that we offer the bonus, right? We typically know that it's something that they need. But as far as the second part of the question, I think what you're meaning is how do we value a bonus that we feel like we're giving for free, which takes me back what I said the first time. Don't give anything away unless it feels good. Like for me, I need to know that the bonus I'm giving is going to support my clients, like they need it to get to the next level. And I want to give it. If you want to give a bonus in a package, don't do it because it's going to help sales. Like don't offer something because you think people are going to buy that. So for instance, in Play Big, we have an overnight authority package bonus, right? I'm giving it because I think it's pretty cool, pretty awesome, and I'm gonna cuss one more time, pretty badass, that in 30 days, you not only write a book, but get it to Amazon bestseller and get media appearances on NBC, CBS, ABC, and the Wall Street Journal guaranteed. Like, I'm all in. I love that. I love the fact that I can give that to people as a bonus. Not because, but you don't want to give it away because I think that because I have that in my package, now people are going to buy my package. Guaranteed. I wouldn't do that. So it's an amazing way to elevate your authority positioning. That's why I'm giving it. And I also think that it supports my entire program, since my program is about helping you to become a highly paid authority and getting clients on demand, right? So same thing. Your bonuses shouldn't be like things that you're stuffing in your packages because you're trying to up the value or make people want to buy your package. It should support them. It should be something that they need in order to get the result. And you should feel good about giving it. Okay, hopefully that answers your question. So do it because it's something that can help your client in a meaningful way, and it feels good to add it to the package. Not because you feel like you have to, not for any other reason. And that really goes for everything that I talk about with my clients. Like, if it doesn't feel good, then don't do it, right? If it doesn't feel good to charge that amount, then don't do it. Charge what feels good. Your gut will never fail you. Your intuition will never fail you. Okay. All right, let me just double check with you guys and make sure there's no more questions. Hope I didn't miss anything. And I'm going to check online one time before we hang up. Shouldn't be any questions online, but I just want to check. I am so honored that all you guys joined me today. And Playful Out, this is just the foundational piece. We're going to get into some strategies. Let me tell you what we're going to talk about next week. Next week, I'm going to dive into a little bit more of a money piece where we're going to be talking about your financial saboteurs. So the things that you might be doing in your business that you don't even realize are having you leak money and sabotaging your finances. And we're going to talk a little bit about money personality types and how that affects your business, your sales, your marketing, and all of those things. So we're going to get started there. Again, what I know for sure is that in order for you to set the goals and blast through them, in 2016, you need to know what is holding you back. And so this series is about diving into those things. So I hope that you will re-listen to this call before we get to the next one and really start to implement your own strategies around those 6 money mindset that you need to shift. Start to implement them this week. Your gratitude journal at the end of the day, how to focus on the positive instead of the negative. So if you need more money, don't focus on the lack or the hole that you're trying to fill. You want to focus on the money that you have, being grateful and in gratitude about that. And then more money will show up because that's how your brain is wired. All right, guys. So I'm excited. I'll see you guys next week, same time. So just know we have 4 of these sessions. 1 week falls on Thanksgiving. We will not have a session that week, but we'll have a session the week after. I'm super, super excited to do this for you guys. Jan says she's looking forward to being a more badass power player. I'm right there with you, Jan. Excited that you were able to join us, and I will see you guys next week, same time, same bat channel. Thanks for joining me. See you later.